Let's go, baby!
Yeah!
If it didn't
Oh,
work, I
yeah!
think that would have been funny.
Hey, come on, baby!
You think it would have been funny if there was like
I think
8 videos that are scheduled
I
to
think
start at no time?
I think it would be funny if everything broke like 45 minutes in and nobody noticed until we stopped.
So let me check.
Do you have these on a playlist, by the way?
I need to update the current playlist. I haven't updated that in a minute.
Alright, just because like the videos and the live tab would have like the videos tab would have the prior session.
Alrighty. So anybody wanna do we're gonna do the sound check.
Alright, let me go to your channel.
It's really funny because for some reason it's just now using the thumbnail of Welcome to Bruma. The Kino Fabino edit, the Kino Fabino-esque edit. This will be changing.
When are you gonna start your 200-part FF14 streams?
Well, oh god, would it still be a 200 parts if I just started where my
still be pretty long.
It'd be longer.
Play
6 JRPGs back to back.
Oh god.
500 JRPGs.
Oh right, and yeah, turn on push to talk.
Oh yeah.
It's a thing we're supposed to.
Oh yeah, we're not supposed to do that, ain't it?
Let me get a song go. Just to test audio for the OST. How's the song sounding for you guys? Not the stream, but you.
Sounds good.
Alright.
I mean, if it's too loud, I can always just lower it.
Alright.
Music sounds fine.
I'm testing all over the place.
So how were the test results? Or was it Bone that was testing? Or Bone only, I mean.
Bones testing, I think.
There's something I do need to do. And that is
The hustle.
Yeah, that too. But I need to set the Discord in my browser to streaming mode. That way the pings from it doesn't get picked up. Alright. The test it ever. Oh, alright. Oh god damn it. It mini played the stream on my end. Let me just play the music for Bone's sake. Alright, I'm gonna go down the list. Joshy.
Test 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Alright. Roboot. Alright. We're gonna skip the tester. Justin.
I'm here. Hello.
Alright. Sim.
Yo.
Alright. And Noir.
You know, everybody acts like they have something to say, but when it comes out and they move their lips, it's just a bunch of gibberish.
Alright. That's a fair and valid test we got going.
Reached the part of Moby Dick where he's just wrong about whales for 20 pages.
I didn't realize there were parts where he's wrong about whales.
Yeah, there's that bit in the beginning where he's like, before we get into the actual story, let me explain to you how whales work, are like categorized in the animal kingdom. And he goes on like a tangent about how whales are totally fish, and anyone who thinks they're not fish are dumb and wrong.
He is a sailor, I guess. And not even the dancing kind.
Alright.
Just checking. You are checking the chat, right? For
Yeah,
my sound test
I already turned them up a little bit. So everything. So they're turned up. I turned down the music a little bit on my end. They think this is like good to go, or after I turned Robert and Joshy up. Actually, Joshy, speak.
Test 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Roboot, speak.
Testing 1 2 3.
Noir, speak again.
HOTTOGO.
I was just listening to that earlier.
You can take
it's
me
a
hot
bop.
to go.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to hear a Chapel Roan song that I didn't like. Yet.
Alright, just to turn up Joshy a little bit more. Alright, Joshy, go again.
Test 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Again.
Mickey Mouse in the house.
I think that's good. How am I feeling about... I guess the only downside is that the test stream is delayed. So there's that. Alright. So, we're gonna wait for our testers' feedback. Roboot, speak.
You know that thing that happens when something does a thing to a thing and then it keeps going and it never stops?
Can't talk about that on stream.
Inertia?
Need AC band.
Alright, I think we're good. I
Can't
think
let people know that
I
inertia is a
think-
property of matter.
I think we're good to go. Alright.
Alright, now I'm testing myself.
Alright.
I hope he sounds alright.
Hmm.
You can
That's
probably
what I
turn
say
me up
when
a
I-
smidge.
Oh.
Alright. Just a smidge. Did that. Alright, I think we're...
Alright,
think...
check. It's probably good. It's probably good.
It's good. It's good enough. All right, let's go. So, last time on, I'll play that track again. So last time on Hunter, the road trip or whatever, you had the encounter with the Karen. You drove her to the hospital. You saw, and it was a very intense incident. But after that, you noticed there was a weird building with a symbol on it that matched the one in an old book about hunters. You go in, you talk to a very paranoid man behind the door. He's although wouldn't usually let you in, he audibly tells you that because you guys recognize the symbol, then you're probably good to go. So he lets you in. And you have seen before you a band of... In this old building, a band of various people, just all like almost like a ragtag group of people. They don't seem like they're like prepared to go fight.
Not
Like these look
not
like
too
they
not
look
too
like
similar to us. Sorry.
no. Well, here's the thing. The difference is you guys are probably a bit
No,
more
pretty good
experienced than
fight.
them. These guys are like... They're like civilians that have very, very recently discovered there's a little bit more to the world than the world lets on, and they've discovered this building, and they're trying to use the knowledge and tools from it in the best way they can without entirely or fully knowing the extent of what they're messing with.
I see.
And you are all walking into the building. And as you enter, it is a brick interior. Let me actually get the exterior shot of the building. So the interior, it's made of like old bricks. The ground's kind of like the solid gray concrete. There's bookshelves all about, and there's just various people.
However,
However,
gonna look around and he's like, "Wow, this looks like a place I'd explore."
it seems like it was dilapidated for a while, but the recent inhabitants have done some band-aid fixes here and there because they haven't had the chance to do long-term fixes to the internal structure. So it's being taken care of the best it can. And as you're all just looking at this, a woman approaches you. Oh. And she's wearing a blue dress. Her hair is a bit short, messy. She doesn't have lipstick on at the moment. She's been through some things. At least that's what it looks like to you.
Okay, I got very scared there for a moment.
Wait, sorry, did you say this was a woman?
Yeah.
Josh, he sees one woman, is scared.
I mean, no, like Karen was wearing very similar clothing. The only difference is that the soul hasn't been entirely sucked out of this, like her, like this woman has.
She's like, she's kind of looking at you all, sizing you up, so to speak, metaphorically, and she noticed that they're kind of getting a good look. So I take it that you all seem like the type that would be inhabiting this building before its vacancy.
Not
I
us.
guess.
I don't know who you are or why Brian let you in, but I'm just going to hope that none of you have to do with the recent upsurge in gang violence that we've seen recently.
Also,
Exact
ACI,
opposite, honestly. We are trying to deal with it.
gonna
ACI,
put
I
in a-
have to wonder. Sorry, you go.
Dr. Arkham's going to put an avuncular hand on his shoulder. Then you're very, very lucky to have let us in. We're here to start solving the problems.
Thank God. You know, you'd be a major help. You seem like you all seem to, be they seem to have gotten your feet a little submerged into this. Everybody here is a lot more fresh. Myself included.
I hate to break the character, but just this is on my mind. Is that supposed to be the Polish flag in the background?
No.
You know what? I can't blame Bone because I also thought it was like, is she Polish?
Like, I was wondering if like you're trying to not do an accent or something. I wasn't sure. Okay, regardless.
Oh, the red is supposed to be because it's a ragtap group of hunters. I thought, oh, it's like an orangish red, like the hunter thing. I also had some other influence, but I'm like, oh, I just realized now that this looks like the Polish flag. And I wouldn't be shocked
so you just didn't notice it in the moment?
I didn't notice it in the moment, but looking back, I wouldn't be shocked if the thing that inspired this partially was also inspired by the flag. But that aside...
Just say her like what is it? Fucking lineage comes from fucking Poland or some shit.
We're gonna have to say her last name's like Trotsky.
She's an Indonesia. She's from Indonesia, but she's in distress, so it's upside down.
My name's Perkaunik.
You know what? I have a grandparent from Poland. I'm birthrights and whatnot. Long story, but I'm
odd bit there.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I'm Diane. I am. Although it is my last couple months in office. I am the current mayor of the town of Cincinnati.
shit!
Oh,
What?
nice to meet you.
You're the
Uh,
mayor and you're hanging out in here?
I
Wow.
I believe that most of the higher end forces may be a bit compromised. I also realized that due to some unfair working conditions that of a certain building, that there were some leftover strike workers who were still being paid by their union but had some spare time. They were also concerned about the violence, and some of them talked to me directly beforehand. We gathered and we decided that we wanted to try enacting some semblance of a plan. I looked through the city to see if there's any secret tunnels or anything like that, and I found something off about this building. We all came here and we found some things. Things that we were unsure if we should have seen. Through the books, pictures, the text, the broken radio, even the some remains that were strangely left here.
Human remains?
Human remains. Mostly.
Worrying. Mostly
still
human
here?
or mostly remaining?
Mostly human remains.
AC, what does the surrounding area look like? Like, I'm not sure if you brought that up yet.
Dilapidated
Where are
house.
we?
It is in like it's like brick walls. There's a little bit of dripping from like the ceiling, but it's been like taped up. Like it's a building has some bookshelves. It's nearly abandoned, but like you notice that the recent inhabitants have used some duct tape and some other things to do essentially band-aid fixes, so it's bad instead of way worse.
So
Are
it's
we
not
in like a
condemned.
foyer?
You're
Is it
in
like
Yeah,
the-
I think he's asking what sort of building is this?
Does it look like the Spencer Mansion? What does this look like?
It looks like you're in like a living room. It's like a worn down, like kind of like a fancy living room at first. Let me get a good like
Go
example.
grab that map really quick.
Because like I was thinking like the area at the beginning of Resident Evil like 1 in like that area of the Spencer Mansion with the stairs.
What a mansion.
I imagine that it's a little like that, but like imagine it's like kind of run down a bit. It's
Like the Spencer Mansion? Wait, actually, was the Spencer Mansion run down?
No, it was like pretty well preserved.
it was well
Okay.
preserved. It's
The
Wasn't
image
it
I
being
found looks.
actively lived in like right up
Yeah.
until recently.
it was
The image I found looks kind of run down.
it was it feels like it hasn't been lived in for like a minute. But imagine it's like let me get like a let me get like a good song.
Is the room big?
It's like a medium size, I would say. It's enough to have, actually it's big enough for a staircase to lead like upwards, but it's not like huge.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, is all the people here just like members of the local government?
I'm me and Brian over there, the guard of the door, are only local government figures here. Everybody else was just various workers that are getting paid on strike that are using their time to hold down the fort, quite literally in our case.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Did Malcolm follow us in here?
Malcolm is out. Malcolm is outside, but you do hear like Brian at the gate being like, "There's someone at the gate." He goes up. "Hey, what's the password?" He's like, You seem to let the last group in. I don't remember them asking for any passwords. You hear this almost like kind of like muffled as it's towards the door. Oh,
He's with us.
Oh yeah, he's with us.
let him in. Alright.
I'm
Alright.
gonna go up to Malcolm and say, like, you might want to check this place out. This might be your kind of thing.
He bonks at like the top of his head on like the doorway a bit. He's like, ah. And he's like, righty lads. This is quite the place. I don't know if it's the. Here's the thing. I don't know if it's a place I'm usually go to, but it's also, I think I'm very familiar with what this originally was. Most likely.
I mean, where that?
Well, most likely from the books and from what I knew even back during my old mage days when we were a simple colony. I learned about the old hunter arcanums. You see, I'm not an expert in the field of hedge magic, but some hunters will have a safe house and they will have one or two very powerful lads that would be essentially a diet magic of sorts. It's nowhere near as powerful as the stuff that a real mage can tap into, but it's still pretty strong, and a lot of it's specialized.
Special how?
Well, it's specialized specifically to be against various supernatural creatures. It's tailor-made, if you will. And some of the more powerful aspects of hedge magic, at least in my opinion, was some of the creation of some of its artifacts, which would allow normal people to tap into its magic powers without having to be in the right circumstances for an awakening or a diet awakening after years of research.
Wait, you mean like, and then Zach pulls out his amulet like this?
Exactly! That's exactly. I wouldn't be shocked if that kind of gem came from a deposit that the old owners of this place very well knew about.
Well, they were a pair of old fortune tellers.
I wouldn't be shocked if they had worked at various places like this. However,
Or rather, are.
something tells me that nobody here has the magic in the way they used to. It's not right, Diane, and you assumed correctly. None of this magic stuff is fairly new to us, but it would explain some stuff, especially the basement.
What's going on in the basement?
There's skulls with a weird engraving on them. There's also an old radio. We can't get the thing to work, but it produces sounds and it feels wrong.
Oh, I
And-
don't like creepy dolls.
And there's some bookshelves, but down there, and it feels like there might be something behind it, but none of us could get the bookshelf to move. It's very stationary.
Well, should we go look at it then?
Ah,
Guess so, since we're safe here.
I mean, it's not like anybody else has managed to miraculously get it working. You guys enter the station, and while you're entering here, I make the grim realization that I forgot to export a clip file into a PNG. So let me do that really quickly, and it's done. So you walk into the basement, and it's a little more dilapidated than the rest of the building. Think like it's just concrete floor, a bunch of brick pillars, and some bookshelves, and like an old worn out painting. And you can hear some drops every now and then, some drippings. And you see on the other end of the basement, although rather spacious, you see a radio on a table. It's an old ham radio. Like, this thing is old, but you can't help but feel like something's off. Do you approach the radio?
I'm gonna suggest that Malcolm approach it.
Alright. Yet, I'm going to, approach it. Though I may need some of your help. It might, despite its, oddities, at the end of the day, it might still operate on that, foul technology rules that you all like so much.
Man, I can just do it. It's
I'll
fine.
follow.
Here.
I'll follow along.
I mean, I'll try.
Malcolm
Alright,
and
the-
you all head towards it. The vibes feel weird. The aura is definitely different, but it feels like it's not attuned properly.
I'm so tempted just to start smacking it. I'm not going to. I'm very tempted.
I thought you were gonna say snorting it. I would have been like, what would that done?
How do you snort a whole radio?
No, I got the quirky sauce for that.
It's not that ominous. Alright, so Malcolm, he, like, puts his fingers onto the radio. And everything goes silent for a moment. And then hear him. Oh, alright. That should help a little bit. The radio wasn't going to magically work, but I've hampered it down where if you want it to work, you can take over from here. I've done my part, so it's a lot more approachable. Malcolm kind of just walks away from it a little bit.
What do you mean by if we want it to work?
Well, and on the end currently, it seems like there are some parts of it that needs some wiring and some attunement, but it needs to be dialed to certain channels. It might be one of those issues, but what I did basically, there was a ward on it. I placed my fingers on it, on the radio, and I tried to see, and I dialed it, and it's very powerful, I'll say that, but I was able to dilute it enough to where it won't be too ominous. Basically, it would allow you to work without any interference. If you were to work on the thing, you know, work on its inner workings, dial some
Alright.
knobs.
I have a high tech. Could I do anything to look at it?
You can observe it, but to
So by look at it, I mean like work on it.
to work
What level
on
is your
it,
tech at?
is a difficulty 5 intelligence plus technology to get the hunter radio to really like get a look at it.
Oh, can I try that too? Since I got 5 dice and since I got 5 dice total for both of those stats.
You can I will say you can either you can like help, or if
Here,
Virgil fails,
I-
Zach can take over.
I have a okay, tech 3, int 3. So I would have 6 dice total. What would you have?
I have 3 tech and 2 intelligence.
All right.
I would
Do
say
you want to be the backup or do you want to be the bonus?
Is there a difference?
okay. So I will say on the trying to think of a way. What a backup would it be like? Trying to think of how like getting a dice roll to work.
I just mean like if I fail, Roboot takes over, or do you just want me to have a bonus dice? And I can do rerolls. Or lower difficulty, whichever one we go with.
We'll
We
go with the second option.
if we go with the second option, I have an idea where Bone will do the roll first, and then Robert will do the roll, and like you can tally up your successes for this radio.
Okay.
And
Wait,
when
we tally
Yeah,
up
what
our
do you-
successes.
I'll allow it for this radio. Yeah, because I'm kind of like unsure of like helping and assisting rules and whatnot.
I mean, we just said that it would be lowered the difficulty or add a dice.
Oh yeah, actually,
You want to just go with lowering the difficulty?
actually, just scrap that. We'll go with lowering the difficulty. It's 4.
Okay, so do you want to either have it be and I'm asking Roboot if he wants to do it so it's like I hand it off to you if I fail and then you do your roll, or do you want to just lower the difficulty and I can see if I can do it with my stats, and then I can just do willpower rerolls if necessary, which I think might be the best option.
Yeah, that.
Alright, then difficulty 4, I'm rolling 6. Give me a second as I do the command. Alright, that's a fit. Wait, okay, I got a 10 in there, so let's see. 10 counts as 2. 3, 4. Okay, so if we're counting 10 as 2, that would be a success.
2. That's 2, 3, 4. That would be. I would say you land a 4. Yeah, we'll count it. The radio starts working. It's going through various static, various channels. It's like you hear like different languages on sports, and then you hear like ominous tuning, and as like it's kind of flickering between. Eventually you hear like a voice coming from it. Foxtrot, Station Foxtrot, if you come online, can you read?
Roger that. Who is this?
Oh, this is the first. This is Station Delta. This is the first time Foxtrot's been online in months, and there's a voice. What happened over there? It was complete silence, and whenever the news report happened, we feared for the worst.
Well, we are not whoever was here. Whoever was here was skeletons.
Oh. So Station Foxtrot is down.
We're the new hunters, and we do not know who you are.
We are Station Delta. Also, hunters. Yeah, you notice he's kind of stammering for a bit. Right. Oh, alright. So, if the situation is what I think it is, the station kind of becomes a little more clear. And right. So if the alright, so if what I'm reading, it seems that you guys are new. The old Station Foxtrot's down. But this is still good news. Listen, I don't know how experienced you were, but some of the people at Foxtrot weren't fairly decent at what they did. And if you guys want to fulfill their shoes, you know, help discover what happened, or help fix any problems they were originally dealing with, then you're going to need to follow some instructions of mine fairly carefully.
Who are we talking to?
I can't be too clear. I have to say it's Station Delta. You don't know who's listening in on these. Though we do keep these relatively encrypted through various stuff.
That's fair.
You still don't know if there's a mole amongst any of the other stations or not.
We don't know if you might be if the people that made those things skeletons, if they might have infiltrated you.
Exactly. There's a reason why we're not going gung-ho on saying what we are, you know? And much like we're trying to be careful in case there's something on your side, you should be careful in case there is something on our side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Zach says, but horning in.
Right. Seems like there's multiple of you. I understand if you don't want to tell me the exact number, you know. I'm not telling you everything about our station. I will say that there's a still fairly decent number of us in Station Delta.
You could say there's a decent number of us here as well.
Oh,
And I'm gonna like elbow him, just like.
well, I understand your paranoia. Valid, and you should keep that up. Honestly, I encourage it. But I do want to say, if there is a lot of you, what I'm going to guess is going on is that we have a larger group of less experienced people. Although they were very decent of us, very decent people in Foxtrot, there weren't a whole lot of them. So, you might be able to compensate for the old group with your numbers, and if that's the case, all the more reason that you listen to my current instructions on what to do. Because there is something in Station Foxtrot that you need to access that I think will help level a playing field or two.
Sorry, what was that last part? My cat just attacked me on my back.
You're going to need to listen to my instructions fairly carefully, because if you have more because I feel like there's more numbers over there, because there weren't a lot of people originally at Foxtrot. But if you want to survive, you're going to need to listen to these instructions, because I need you to access something that will level the playing field.
How do you need us to access?
Right. All right. You hear paper shuffling. You hear him grabbing an old book, turning the pages. Right. Yeah. First, gonna need there's a lock in near one of the on one of the bookshelves. It's a book. It's got a lock on it. There's a chain on it. It's in one of the shelves. Should be down there in the basement.
All right. Do we come back to you, or do you want us to do that now? Is there any other details?
Okay, when you find it, there might be some lying around in there. If not, you might have to access that, and that could be the tricky part. You're going to need to get blood. Not human blood, just blood, just above human blood. Just something that's not... Something that's... Well, you know, different. It can be any type of thing that's different. It could be, you know, those are the bat variety.
That thing we got from that guy.
Yeah, it's that thing we got from that guy. Perhaps that can do it.
It doesn't.
Anyway, continue on.
The sauce?
It has to be different. It doesn't. But though I will say, it does not have to be of the bat blood variety. It could be of a chameleon blood variety. Either chameleon or bat. Either of those will work. If you do not know what it means, I highly recommend that you check out more of the literature on the bookshelves itself.
I think I get the gist.
Yeah, I think I get the gist.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, I think I got it too.
I think you guys, if you guys know the gist, then I think, and I have confidence that you guys will be able to make it just fine. Another thing to, another step is, once you get the blood, you drip it into the keyhole. You put the book back into the shelf. The bookshelf should open. I don't know if it rotates or if it slides to the side. I forget the exact details, but regardless, on the other side is just a couple standard weapons and an amulet. Although one person can wear only one person can wear the amulet because it's one amulet, it's a fairly decent one. It'll help prevent any bat tricks from working on you as much. Or at least whoever's wearing it.
Well, that sounds useful.
Alright, so you do that, and after you do this, I will need you guys to do us a favor. There will be a old phone behind the bookshelf. I'm going to, if you type a number, he says a phone number. If you text that, no, if you type those numbers in, and when you call, you say, Foxtrot's been compromised, code black, and if you could just do that, you could hang up for all I care after you say that. But just do that for us, and it would go a long way.
We're not gonna get, like, nuked from orbit when we say that because we're in the building, right?
We're not gonna destroy the building. There's still... Do you know how much valuable things are still in that building?
I mean, hey, you never know. I just wanted to check. Jeez.
Is there anything else of value we can get? This would be very disappointing to find out this would bite us in the back.
There's firearms with the necklace. Plenty. So... And there's and also there are crates upstairs. I'm unsure if you guys have gone to them already, but they should have some wooden stakes. You know, just to help with certain problems.
Sure.
Alright then.
One other there is another artifact. However, we're unsure how quite to operate it. And in fact, it was a very recently made thing. I assume that the base has been compromised, so one of its old founders have performed magic on their own skeletal system. In case of their own death, that their skull can still be used to fight against this, any scenarios.
The skull.
Yes.
That lady say something about a skull with a weird symbol on it.
How can this skull be used outside of bashing something with it?
I myself, there's people here at Station Delta who are more familiar with the denizens of Foxtrot. I myself do not know, but I've been informed that it is one of those things that the vibes will inform you once you get it up and running. Once you find it, that is.
Alright.
I wish I could tell you more.
Is there anybody with your group that we can meet up with?
I mean, when you call the phone number and you tell them the code, we should be sending, we'll be trying to find some people to send to the area, though I wouldn't rely on them too much because they might be a minute. We're stationed all the way out in a faraway location. We're still in the country, but we don't want to. We can't say the specific area, you know. Precautions.
Alright then.
If you do, it'll be a whole. However, if you do manage to wait a week or two, whenever they arrive, I'm sure they'll be more than willing to tell you everything about where we are, how to meet back up with us. But, yeah, just one more thing. Try not to go, be careful. If whatever this wiped out took out Station Foxtrot, I would not consider them a force to be trifled with.
I would imagine.
The radio, although the radio has like a tiny bit of static, you can still like hear him. He's like, "All right, if you make sure you call that number when it's all done, but regardless, I'll be informing us back at Station Delta about my current findings."
Roger that. We'll begin then.
Alright, thank you very much. We were scared that Foxtrot would just go missing, but hey, if there's new people here, there might be a chance. But I'll talk to you whenever you contact the radio later, or maybe you'll talk to whoever arrives. The radio goes to static.
Well, I guess we should begin. Let's go get the thing from the guy.
How can we be sure that they're who they say they are?
I don't think we can, but we have a lot of us. Maybe they'll have a lot of them. Can I get like an insight? I trust them, but can I get like an insight roll?
For...
To see if they are trustworthy.
Alright, I would say that's a difficulty 5 because you cannot see their face. So, like, there's a lot of facial cues that were just gone or removed due to the inherent nature of this conversation. Not yet. You wait. Anyway.
What would I be rolling? Wits plus insight?
Wits plus insight, difficulty. I would say 5 for like a vague general idea of...
Yeah, sure. Nah, I don't know.
Alright, you roll?
Yeah, I rolled and I didn't know.
This is a conversation over the radio, a strange one at that. A lot of times you can tell if someone's lying because of, you know, minor cues of their body language. Those cues are completely gone.
They seem very familiar with the area. They have a hunter symbol. I think I'm not too worried. And I'm gonna go walk out to the bus and go get the thing from the guy.
You get the changeling blood. The quote unquote chameleon blood that he said also worked. You guys approach and you search the bookshelves through the various books on supernatural creatures, and then you find the book with a lock on it.
So the thing is, like, I drip it in.
You drop it. You get blood in the keyhole.
All right. I assume that I still have plenty of blood left in it.
You get, like, I would say you guys like have a before you guys go to pour it in, one of the strike worker random hunters is like, wait, this might help. I have it from an old science project. I don't know, that I was working with my kid, but I don't know why it's still in my coat pocket. He gives you like a little dropper. You know those liquid droppers that you get a little bit into it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
He gives you that.
Zach takes it.
So you're able to like get the liquid from the blood, drip it in the lock, while still keeping the vial relatively full. The book kind of like almost feels like a weird vibrating sensation. You feel like something is different about the book now that the quote-unquote chameleon blood has interacted with the keyhole. You slide it. Are you going to slide it back in into the bookshelf as instructed?
Yeah, sure.
I guess, yeah.
You slide the book back into the bookshelf.
Whichever one of us is doing it.
Whichever one of you are doing it. The bookshelf stop. You hear dirt is like being shuffled around. Like dirt and all that from the ceiling a bit. Just you hear like dust, and then you see the bookshelves like kind of slide. and inside behind it is a compartment. And you see a necklace with a red orb, like a red amulet, and also a bunch of firearms like stacked on the walls. And these are assault rifles, shotguns, and one light machine gun. There was about, I would say in all there is like 15 firearms. 16 firearms actually. And one necklace. You also see an old dial-up phone. Not the, you see the old like spin wheel, like the kind of wheel, like phone that has the wheel where you spin for the numbers.
Oh, an old phone.
You see that on
A rotary phone.
a rotary phone as well. So the rotary phone, the wall of firearms, and the necklace is what you were all presented with. You and all the other recently founded hunters and Diane are staring at this.
I'm gonna take a look at that amulet.
I'm gonna say to Diane, like, you're the leader of this place. Perhaps you should be the one to send the call.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Wait, is Diane like the leader?
She's the one who gathered the strike workers into this place,
And she's the mayor.
and she's like the mayor, so she's essentially the leader.
And we can figure out how to divvy up the loot later afterwards.
You're all, so as you're all like getting ready, looking at divvying it all up, Zach approaches the necklace.
The necklace.
Look, I forgot to get my drink
No,
for
I
this.
thought it was just funny. Just keep on going.
It's. You notice an old note on it that says the name. The Orb of Ulain. Spelled U-L-A-I-N. Describe this, it is a dull red crystal-like orb on a silver necklace. As you remember it being described, it should help protect you from any vampire tricks. Most likely involving the mind, or involving any strange mind shenanigans.
I'm gonna need to that description posted in text so I can copy it in case I take it.
Alright.
You want to put it in shared hunter notes and then pin it? Or do you want to put it in like anywhere else?
I might put it in shared hunter notes and pin
Yeah,
it.
that sounds like the most sense.
I would like to figure out the divvying up the loot after the phone call is made.
Alright, I was about to do the phone call after I write this down.
Oh, alright.
This with a red orb attached. It taps.
Wait, is it YLA or is it ULA?
ULA.
Yeah. Shit, I'll take the Orb of Ulain.
Wait, let's just wait till the phone call is made, then we can discuss that.
Before you think about taking, before you look at the orb, as you're staring into the necklace, you hear the phone getting picked up, and you see Diane go to pick it up. Hello. This is Foxtrot. Station Foxtrot. It's been a code black, I believe.
Compromised.
We have been compromised. She hangs up, and then she hangs up the phone. The phone call was made.
Did they say anything on the other end?
They said, the only thing they said was, understood, sending, we'll send possible reinforcements whenever we can.
Alright then, and so now we have the loot. Take what you'll need, and we can take the rest.
There's a... We have
We
a...
are gonna grab that necklace, though.
Understood. Just wait on one condition. You are going to help us with, the situation involving...
Oh, of course, yeah.
I see.
We'll need details, but I don't see any reason not to.
Understood. The necklace is yours. I assume you've heard of a local gangster in the area. Goes by the name Lorenzo.
Yeah,
So
we had
we've
the
heard.
displeasure of meeting him.
Oh! Then you
Well,
know...
we can get into that a bit later, but what did you have in mind?
Sorry for your loss. Anyway, I'm guessing that I don't need to tell you that this Lorenzo has to go. Most of the police force and any force with actual weaponry behind them will be in cahoots with him. And they've helped cover up his stuff, and they've tried to hide his real nature. So we're going to need to take Lorenzo out. And keep it relatively a secret. Thankfully, I am the mayor, so I do have a fair bit of resources, and I think the strike leader could give us some money. Though, that might be more of a last resort due to favors and whatnot.
Well, we might have already come up with a plan for that, but I don't know how much we can really share. That would have to be up to the group here. Do you guys want to do a group huddle?
Sure.
Do you guys want to do a
Sure.
huddle on the bus or here?
Is there privacy here at all?
There's privacy if you do not, however, although everybody in the building has read the books and they have been made, everybody in the building is incredibly aware of supernatural entities and threats. And
Are they, how would they react, though, to us working with the vampires and saying we called for vampire reinforcements?
I guess that's for you to find out if you say it to them.
And that's why I'm like, we should probably talk about this on the bus. Do you guys want to go to the bus to talk about it?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Alright, are we tippy-tapping to the bus?
You decide to all go back to the bus. Malcolm's reading a book and he closes it and he kind of like puts it to his side. He's like, and goes with you. And as you're all leaving, as you're about to leave, Diane says, "So you are going to help eliminate Lorenzo, correct?"
That is the plan, just we need to work out some stuff with the current plan.
Right. In the meantime, I'll have our current impromptu strike workers, now currently hunters, arm themselves up so they can prepare.
Is there any gun that you guys want to take from this group?
There are
Double barrel shotguns.
I wouldn't really. I'm hurting for a shotgun personally.
I would like to hope they have more than. Like to hope that it's more than a double barrel.
they have a they have a couple. They have like they have like around like 7 double barrels, but one like Spaz 12.
Yeah, it's like, what type of guns are these? Like military guns? Are these like shotgun, like stuff you would get at the fucking Dick's Sporting Goods? What type of guns are these?
Most of these appear to be almost military grade.
But like a double barrel shotgun is pretty lame compared to like a standard like hunting shotgun.
There is the spaz. Well, there's also a bunch of there's also like a bunch of M16s. Like there's enough of those where if y'all took one, there'd still be enough for some of the strike workers.
Excuse me, yoink.
Which yoink? Like there's so much to yoink.
Yeah, no, I'm grabbing the fucking pump. Yeah, I'm grabbing the Spaz 12.
I will take the SMG.
You guys got any magnums, by the way? Any like hand cannons almost?
Striker. I actually got a couple for myself. I know a friend who's into gun collecting, so I actually have two. Though I'm not gonna dual wield, and nobody else has offered to take the second one from me, so I guess here you go.
What type of gun exactly is it? AC? Is it like a revolver?
It is a 357 Magnum revolver.
Okay, what damage is an SMG?
Let me quickly verify the stats on the Paradox wiki, but because I remember there was something on rifles and shotguns, but I need to double check for SMGs. All right, we're gonna loop. Cool, it's already on loop. I might have to consult the rule book for weapon damage. Alrighty. Thankfully we will. That's the level up. So that would be around. I know like simple pistols are like 9mm or 2. Like they're a +2 dice. I want to say the Magnum was a 3. The 357 is like Wait, no, the 357 is like name dropped as a +4. So
357.
the 357. Let me go get some. Let me go get some stock examples.
About the M16.
I'll post them in the session chat, and I will. I would say that the M16, although rated, I would say is almost rated as a +3. Although, the upside is due to handling. Some shots will be made a lot easier with the M16 due to it being a rifle. And with the 357, due to it being a heavy revolver, it could be more difficult in some scenarios. I will say, the Spaz 12 is a +4.
I guess that a SMG would be medium gunshot.
Yeah, I guess a SMG would be +3. I would say the M14. Well, I'll raise the M16 to probably like be. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a plus. I'll keep it at like +3, though I would make it easier to aim than like some of the other guns to kind of compensate for the damage.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have to give some contextual abilities.
Yeah. So the M16 comes with weapon handling. Although it does less damage than its revolver and shotgun counterparts, it's easier to handle. So some difficulties that would be made with a shotgun or a revolver will be lowered by like a single die with the M16. So some shots from farther away could be easier to hit due to its rifle-like nature.
I assume you're probably not rapid firing the Magnum.
That is the thing about the Magnum. It is not a rapid fire. So, and due to the recoil, it could, although the difficulty doesn't have like the bonus to it like the M16 does due to its recoil and due to its size, if you land a hit with it, you will fuck shit up.
I find it funny that it says huge melee, claymore or steel beam. Those feel like very different things.
Beam.
You have You know what? I'm going to restrain myself from making that joke. Anyhow, so you're all looking at your weapons. There is enough for each of you to have one, and there's still plenty left over. However, there's also the single light machine gun. It is a +4. It is a very powerful one. May even get some bonuses to damage. But the drawback is that it requires a strength requirement to wield due to its heavy size.
Is this something you made up, or is
How
this something
high
that
is the
was
strength
in the book?
requirement?
Strength requirement of what?
Strength requirement of. Let me verify the strength stats really quickly. This was something I made up, I will say.
Okay, I wasn't sure this was like on the wiki or something, or somebody's homebrew.
Somebody probably has it on the wiki. It's probably like way better and way refined, but this is what I found. This is what I made up and found in my mind. So let me go to no, that's skills. Yeah, we're gonna go really quickly. Attributes. Composure, dexterity, strength. All right. A 3. I would say, probably a 3 strength.
I got 3 strength.
Is that to
Yeah,
hip fire,
four
or is that
strength.
I
just
also
to
have 3
use?
strength.
That is to carry it around.
Wait, what? Carry what around?
This
An LMG.
My machine gun.
Oh, we can probably put this on the bus. I wouldn't really want to carry it around everywhere.
it is a heavy weapon, so it requires a strength. It requires a real strong hunter to carry this thing around and wield it, and accuracy may be a little bit tougher, but the upside is that it does a lot of damage.
Like LMGs are generally something you have to like mount to use effectively.
Yeah.
Like you need to set them up.
That's why it's a strength 3 to carry around, and you have to like set it up beforehand. However, if you had like I would say a 4, which is like enough to carry, enough to like, for like a full coffin or an empty dumpster. I would say that maybe a 4 or 5, you might be able to just casually hip fire it.
You would need like a bodybuilder build.
I have a strength 4.
Strength 4. You would need to get your strength stat up there to hip fire it. But hey, if you have a high strength, maybe think about it. But you could just mount it. That way, it's more accessible to the whole group.
Could you realistically get someone with like the right amount of strength, but like also have the guy with the perfect accuracy like guide them their shot? Could you like 2-person it?
2-personing it would just lower the difficulty of some die, but it would only be by 1.
The real question I'm asking is, can we do the scene where Giorno helps Mista point the gun in that very homoerotic scene, but instead of a revolver, it's a light machine gun?
I feel like it would just be like a difficulty reduction in general.
It would be
just something you role play out.
It would be a help, but a minuscule help, but a help nonetheless.
It's like I feel like you could just as much just say I'll be a spotter.
Yeah.
And then that would also lower difficulty. You can role play it out however you want.
Oh,
that scene.
Dude,
Jesus Christ, man, he's got his
into the
hand on the
pants.
hip.
No, his hands are under his pants.
Oh wow, yeah, his Giorno's hand is inside of like the waist belt. Also, man, those are some detailed hands.
Well, he's Italian.
He's like, Giorno's not Italian.
Me helping the homie aim the light machine
he's
gun.
an Italian citizen.
you know what's funny is that by blood, Jotaro has more Italian blood in him than Giorno does.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the
Jono is-
Italian in his
Jono's-
family?
Remember,
Uh,
Jono's Dio's is technically Dio's son.
Uh,
he's
Dio
British
fucked the
Japanese.
Japanese woman, so he's
Wait.
half English, half Japanese.
But in
Yeah, but you said
Jotaro, it's
Italian.
Holly. In Jotaro, it's Holly due to like Lisa, due to Suzy-Q, who was a native to Italy.
Right. It was Suzy Q.
So yeah, enough of Jotaro. It has more like Italian blood in him than Giorno aside.
All right.
Which
so,
is funny, but back to planning out who gets who gets their own loot. Who gets
I assume that we put the LMG into the box, the storage box.
You drop it into the infinite storage box.
I will label this under the special items on the character sheet. LMG under parentheses bus storage.
So as you're all preparing, is there a move you would all like to make once you're all back at the bus? You're gonna do the huddle around?
I guess we'll go around the round table and first figure out who wants the pendant. Do we want to give it to the guy who's probably the brainiest, which would be Arkham? Or do we want to give it to somebody who might need the extra help?
I don't know why you
shifting.
think
Are
anybody
you
would
saying you
need...
think I need help?
I'm saying, do you want to be reinforced?
Who said I wanted to be more protected from vampires' influences?
Please no.
Smith is like disgusted somewhere.
I too am disgusted.
Maybe maybe not when we're at work.
Who feels they're
When
the
are we
least...
not at work?
Okay, wait, I got to see. Who thinks that they got to get might need the extra help from the vampires? Anyone in particular? Well, Zach will probably be the closest range. But do you think that he already has an artifact, but doubling up might not be bad?
I mean, who says we can't pass it around?
Well, who wants to be the wielder, predominantly?
Well, I mean, not to hit the arrow hit the thing on the head or whatever, but hit the nail on the head. We probably want to give it to whomever isn't as they ain't got as much going on upstairs, I guess.
All right, I'm going to give it to Steph. I don't. Okay, so question: who has should we just ask the meta question? Wait, so what would like a dominate be? What stat check would a dominate be?
A dominate.
Like if you're trying to resist a dominate or something.
I have to verify. I think that would be like that would be like either like just a flat out. I think that was like a thing about it just straight up being a willpower roll, like outright.
Okay, and willpower is like composure plus resolve.
Yeah.
So it's not like a wits or anything, I guess.
Yeah, I think actually straight up, I think it's a will. I think the official thing was it's a willpower roll.
All right, who here has the least amount of resolve? I have
I
two
think I have
resolve.
the highest resolve.
2.
I have 3.
I got
have 3 on resolve.
I have 4 resolve.
Wait, who said 2?
Me.
All right, I'm gonna hand it over to 7.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Now then again, 7 is probably not going to be up close to them most of the time.
Now, you notice that Malcolm kind of goes up and say, "Mind if I chime in for some suggestions?"
Sure.
Oh boy.
Go ahead.
Well then, I mean, you never know it if, like, Seven were to be accosted randomly, but also, I mean, why not, just hot swap it to whoever's going to be closest to a vampire, depending on the context.
That's what I was saying.
Alright, we can just do that, but figured who would get it right now.
Hmm.
I mean, shit, I'll hold on to it if no one else.
Who would be, like, the best person to have it on generally? Which I'll just hand it over to Seven or Zach. Or Zach, do you want it? I'll just hand it over to Zach.
Well, I'm trying to think of less of who would be the most likely to be dominated. Who would it suck the most for them to be dominated? Although, losing Dr. Arkham's knowledge for a minute during its effects would be a major blow.
We can worry about that later. I'll just hand it over to Zach. He seems confident with
Yeah, I'll
it.
just take it. I'll just take it. I'll just hold on to it for now.
Just-
I'm not gonna wear it.
Just give it to whoever's going to be closest. If you aren't all just going to go into it at the same time. Like, I have a feeling you might. But anyhow, that's just my suggestion. I'm going back downstairs.
Yeah, Zach just pockets it and he puts it in one of his vest inner pockets.
You don't want to be here to help out with the planning?
Oh, I mean, I could try, I guess.
Well, right now, the issue is, do we let them know we've already started working with the vampires? Do we let them know that we have vampire backup coming?
Okay, we might want to... Wait, you go.
I was going to say maybe there's a way we can probably gauge that.
Phrasing, yeah. Maybe we shouldn't phrase it like, "Hi, we were working with vampires the whole time."
Maybe we just bring on the mayor. What was her name?
Diane.
Maybe we bring Diane on the bus and we just let her in to avoid panic.
That is not the gauging I kind of meant by that. The
What were
gauging
you
I
thinking?
mean is that bringing up that we saw that there's a bit of infighting and perhaps that what should we do with the others there that seem like there's a civil war going on.
Well, right now we have our current plan, and I think that they have their own thing going on. I don't think we're prepared to get involved in their politics.
I mean, their politics are the politics that we're currently kind of engrossed in regardless. We've made a horrible bargain with the guy who's basically in control of this particular city.
Wait, sorry, I might have misunderstood, Joshua. Did you mean like the current thing, or are you talking about the overarching plot?
I'm talking about like the current thing. How
Okay, I thought you were talking about like we should make the whole Camarilla Sabat War our deal.
I'm fine
No.
with betraying them.
All right, I'm gonna rewind a bit. Sorry, what did you say before 7?
I'm saying that perhaps we should bring up the idea that we notice there's a bit of a disagreement between a few of the vampires from what we saw, and gauge what their reaction is, and perhaps spew out ideas without fully revealing that we did in fact kind of make a deal already with them.
I feel like we might complicate things because we're already dealing with one of them. They're probably gonna want to get into contact with us.
It isn't difficult to tell them that we know that there are vampires and there are vampire infighting in town. That part isn't hard. It's the question of who we let know that.
I think it might be good to let, at the very least, Diane know we made at least a temporary alliance. Mutual interests, the enemy of my enemy.
I mean, we could simply just find a way to kind of hint at an idea like that to gauge the reaction before straight up telling.
Well, I mean, I mean,
Diane
have,
seems
like,
practical.
I mean, okay, I might be overthinking this a bit, but wouldn't the mayor of the city, knowing that that vampires are like currently running the place, be like impeccable ammo?
She already knows.
I know.
Oh.
So like that's already like I mean, I'm not 100% on this, but like generally speaking, the average individual, let alone a politician, knowing that number one, vampires are out and about and doing things. Number two, that they're currently like running this community effectively because the cops are in on it, everybody's fucking in on it, except the people. Of course, that's the notable exception. And I mean, based on what I understand, the Camarilla aren't like super plus on that kind of stuff.
Sorry, what do you mean by plus? I actually don't know.
They're not very positive about people being aware that vampires are even a thing.
They don't want it to be known.
Well, they're not. They're not exactly keen on hunters in general.
I mean, yeah, I know, but like, look, vampires are very clearly a little bit flexible, considering that we've got one of them in our back pocket right now. What I'm saying is that.
That's a desperate one.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like when your whole like secret organization thing is kind of jeopardized to a certain degree, they might also be a little bit desperate as well. What I'm saying is that we have a little thing loaded in the trigger to kind of tip things a little bit. Now it might get extremely violent, which I think is the main concern, but where we have reinforcements coming in, I hypothetically from other hunter organizations. We have a small contingent of people who are armed to the teeth, and we also literally know where the guy's secret base is. It's not even that secret, it's like a public location you can go to.
Are you suggesting we betray our vampire contact?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that always kind of the plan?
Well, we never, like, I brought that up and people seemed uncomfortable with the idea. Because now we
Before
already...
I knew we had other help.
Alright then. So, do we want to risk turning on them? And when would that happen? We have, because they now have their own reinforcements of dumpster jugglers coming.
So let's see then. So
we have a bunch of fleshy normal people versus the potential vampires we're gonna betray.
I mean, a shotgun blast to the head isn't gonna do much is gonna do a pretty good deal against the vampire, even if we're
if you
just
can
skin
make
and bone.
it towards if you can make it towards them though. We don't know how many vampires are coming. We don't know what a what was the Velvet Red Commission? What was that? What was the thing?
You guys wanted to go for you asked for a commission of a painting in a deep vermilion red, I think, and you wanted it in person, and that was going to arrive in a couple days. I would say, and that was, I would say, probably a minute ago. Like I think it's been a day.
We don't know what a painting of whatever that thing was is. We don't know what is coming. And so as much as I'm fine with betraying the parasites, I would like to at least know what we have in for us. I think it might be a good idea to at least let Diane know what we've been up to so far, and then plan around that, as opposed to having to keep two different allies in the dark. I think Diane will understand.
I mean, she might not.
Well, what else is she gonna do? She needs us.
I mean, again, we can just simply gauge her reaction on something.
That's what I'm saying. I think we should just bring her onto the bus and let her know the plan. I think she'll be understanding.
Okay,
I don't think we need to let the vampire know about these people, but I think we should.
About the vampire.
Also, not to like interject, but we've gotta stop fucking showing people our cool bus. Like this is where the proverbial magic happens. Like, we have other places we can go to discuss things.
I mean, I thought the bus was just parked in front of the building.
Like the fucking burger spot.
I thought the
fucking Sanctum Sanctorum we're literally parked outside of.
Isn't the bus what we came inside? Like, came to the place in?
I think her point is more that we don't need to let everyone onto the bus.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I kind of get that point. We don't need everyone coming in the bus.
All right, then we don't do it on the bus. We do it elsewhere.
Well,
We
know
do
where
it
she's gonna
outside.
be
We
at.
do it somewhere private, anywhere.
Yeah, we need to have people not come in the bus, but come to meet us other places.
All right. Irregardless, I think we
Need
should
to
tell
be
at least
over there instead
Diane.
of in here.
I think we should plan at least Diane. I mean, tell at least Diane what we've done so far and coordinate with her group. I think that our power will be significantly more powerful if she knows and we can work around that.
We got to make sure to tell the other hunters they can't come in the bus.
All right, we don't bring them onto the bus, irregardless.
No coming in the bus. Got it.
I like the I just
The bus
generally
is
mention the
the-
bus because I think the bus is a cool place. But yes, we don't have to bring them onto the bus.
The bus is
Yeah, they
a
don't have to come on the
secretive.
bus.
The bus is a secret location for us to go in and go out as we
Bus
please. You
is
know,
for special
Only we
occasions.
should be able to come into the bus.
you punch in and you punch out. You know.
Do we go with this idea
Coming in the bus?
of letting Diane know that we plan things with a vampire and then
No, I
tell
thought we
then
couldn't come
plan
in the
around-
bus. Like I mentioned that about the thing about the bathroom, and then everybody told me that I was gross and I shouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, like,
Irregardless of the elixir of
You
life
shouldn't
happening
literally
on the
come in-
bus,
I
do
mean, like,
we
it's
tell
funny to
Diane?
say. It's funny to say "come on the bus" because it sounds like I'm saying you should ejaculate into the bus.
I can tell that, Joshi. Do we bring Diane into our plan?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe.
Well, so if that is the consensus, you all plan to go meet Diane in the building.
Diane, we would like to bring our plan to you and get your opinion privately.
There's a place upstairs. It's soundproof. It's an office. I usually go there to file some paperwork and whatnot.
Oh, perfect.
Not even the other strike workers will hear it.
Sounds great.
What a perfect non-bus-like location for us to have our secret.
But it's not as cool
interactions.
as a bus. If only we
I think
had a
it's-
bus.
I think soundproof rooms are pretty cool, personally.
If only we had a soundproof bus.
You only enter you enter the room. It's like a office, some paperwork, some books.
Bus.
It's on the upper floor of the mansion.
Is the room shaped like a bus?
No.
Is there a bus
No!
seat anywhere that I can feel at home on?
Bona's,
Virgil
like,
gets his head
desperately trying
exploded
to,
and he
like-
dies instantly. No, I'm kidding.
Is it Dick
Bona's like
Bus?
desperately trying to go for that fucking thing like in House.wad where like every permutation of every location just happened to look like the interior of the house.
I
But it's
can't
just
stop
every,
seeing bus seats.
every
Everywhere's
single
a bus.
location just happened. He's gonna go into a church and die.
Where are the windshields? Windshield wipers. I can't find the windshield wiper.
So, AC, have we come
So-
to the room?
So you're in the room. It's an office. You see there's a bunch of paperwork. You also see the skull that with the with the weird engraving.
We
on
never examined that.
It is in
What
the
does,
office.
what does the engraving look like?
So when you stare into the engraving, it looks something like the. Oh, god damn it!
Yo!
It's wiki.
There's so much information on this engraving!
Hey, look, it's the fandom wiki.
I didn't look at the description. Would it have even mattered?
Okay, so only mildly, not too crazy. Apparently, when you drag the image now, it loads the fucking. It loads the whole website because that feature was made by a monster, and that's
Copy
what we.
image address.
That's what we really should be hunting, but no, copy
AC,
image.
Can't you just Can you just right click and copy image address and post that into the browser?
AC has. Sorry. When
Okay,
Seven
so
walk
it's a little
into
it's
the
a little
room-
plus it's a little plus shape with dots at each end. Gotcha.
Wait, is there not a copy? Wait, are you doing that to the radio image, or is that just OBS like?
No, that's
overlaying?
I'm doing that. Okay, I'm figuring out the it's on the radio. However, I did do a hastily drawing of a thumbnail that has the skull on it. Although cartoony because it was quickly thrown together. Here is this.
So are those teeth actually sharp, or is that just for like aesthetic?
It's for
Pretty sure those are the-
aesthetic.
Pretty sure those are the
Seven
incisors,
puts his
Bone.
finger on it to test it out if it gets poked.
Yeah, it's just like since there's like 2 sharp teeth, I wasn't sure.
Man, like I don't know. Do you cut yourself on your canines? I don't think they're that sharp.
Like,
I don't
out
know.
of
My
character talk,
canine's
mine
kind of
actually
sharp,
are that.
actually.
Mine are that sharp too.
It can hurt.
I mean,
to
yeah,
bite
they're
yourself.
supposed to be sharp. How are you gonna eat food?
Yeah, it's just like the
helps
teeth
you.
behind the canines look like extra canines, so I wasn't sure.
So Diane sits there as you get lost and see the forest for all the tree.
Hey,
You cannot
hey,
see-
Diane, I'm sorry,
There's
we're
so
getting
many trees in this
unbelievably off
forest.
track.
So,
Now,
so,
now draw us in a frozen forest.
Got
so, Diane, we have come to your office.
yes. So, what is it that you want to discuss?
So, whenever we arrived, we ended up talking to Lorenzo because we knew about him preemptively and were planning to take him out. We thought we could take him out from the inside. What was the deal we made with Lorenzo anyway?
That you were going to do a test. You were going to smuggle stuff for him, and he was going to see if you were worthy to recruit or not.
So we ended up in a scenario where he wanted to recruit us. We did basically just burying some junk for him. We ended up finding out that one of his workers hates him and wants to take him out. He is with the... Are you familiar with any group terms? Any terms of the factions?
She
Maybe
grabs
the first initials.
She grabs a book. I don't know any faction names, but but some of these books on vampires give vague descriptions of different groups. One being a secret society, and the one being a more violent mob. Though the book has more information on the more violent gang, which is most likely what Lorenzo is.
He is. We'll call this Group S. This guy though was part of Group C. We worked out a deal with him to bring in more of Group C to help take out Lorenzo. It seems that they are in some sort of bat gang war.
So they're infighting.
Exactly. And so we're working, and so we don't know what we called up. It might have been reinforcements. It was some code word, not unlike what we did on that phone. So we don't know what's coming.
All right.
I feel like it's also fairly worth noting that we have we've basically been to his base of operations at this point as well.
Indeed.
Alright, I was unsure what his main base was. I'd gotten some locations down, but I will say this. If what you're saying is true, I am going to have to request my current group to back out of this. If there will be reinforcement of other vampires, it'll be vampiric infighting. I do not want any of my men involved.
Indeed. We might be able to just handle this on our own, and maybe have you as
Right.
our backup in case things go bad.
Why not just let them fight each other and then just mop up who's ever left?
That's our thought.
I was thinking that, but reason why I wanted men to pull out of that scenario uh, was mainly because I don't want them there during the initial fight. I don't want them there during the initial thing. If we are going to be there at all, I would rather them just be on standby at a distance and head on over if there is a given signal.
Yeah, so that's what
also-
actually that's kind of the point that I was gonna hit on actually, because like if there's just gonna be a bunch of vampires going at it, then at the very least there's like a first wave of people who are gonna be kind of going at each other, and a lot of like normal people like us, we can just kind of hang in the back effectively.
I also would like to avoid our vampire contact at least thinking we betrayed him, because otherwise we might get a particular type of bounty put on us. I don't want to. You know what? These names aren't exactly subtle sometimes. I don't want a blood hunt on us.
That's called a blood hunt? I just... I mean, like... And they're trying to keep the meaning of blood hunt a secret? I mean, come
Well,
on.
maybe it's the broadness that maybe that helps keep the secret. The broadness.
I mean, like, I'm
What
gonna be real.
secret?
Blood Hunt's kind of like on the tin can,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
That's the
Anyone
thing.
would call that shit a fucking Blood Hunt. Let's be real.
It's one of
Motherfuckers are
those
being exactly like.
It's one of those things that the bats can say out in the open. Maybe that's why it's not so subtle.
Alright, so here's the thing. I thankfully have two of them. A spare for me, but I'm gonna give you this one if we're gonna go with this plan. She pulls out a flare gun. Oh, babe.
Oh no, they're here! The ones that killed the original people! Just suddenly an explosion happens, the door burges down.
It's Will Smith.
Oh no, he's gonna smack me!
I'm back, sorry. I was
Or I am
asked away at
Legend
the worst fucking time. God damn it. Anyway.
Oh, there could have
Doing
been
here,
worse.
Frank?
So anyway, here's a flare gun. It should, if you shoot up in the air, you know, we'll see the flare and we'll move in. That's the sign we should go. But if there's if there's operatives going, and then there's some that'll do a blood hunt, we are either going to have to not get involved entirely, or we are going to have to kill every last one of them. I don't know about you. Now, I will say, if there is a little, like, civil war infighting, that might reduce the numbers enough. But if there is still plenty of them on one side left, then we are just not going to hit. Just don't shoot the flare.
Well, you also have your backup coming, your possible new allies.
We also have that, though they said that'd probably be in a week, maybe? They said well, we thought it was a week. They said 5 days. When's this vampire backup coming in?
When is
We also don't
this
know.
potential? Oh,
They said 2 days. It's been a day,
They
so...
said 2 days.
So-
Day.
Alright.
Tomorrow.
So, something tells me that we should probably hold off before the big plan, but also, the vampires are going to be here tomorrow. I can't imagine them being patient. I imagine they would want to get it done and over with in the scenario, or maybe they are patient. I don't know. Regardless, I'm in a bit of a rock and a hard place right now. So, just...
well, we'll see you probably tomorrow or not.
I guess if you manage to stall for a week for the fight, then we'll get us and the hunters that reinforcement, and we'll wait. And the moment the fighting's over, and you think that there's enough of them for us and you all included to take, we will strike when you shoot the flare gun. But that's if you can hold this out for a week.
I don't know if we'll be able to, but we'll talk about
5 days, I mean.
Not to be a little bit greedy about this, but you wouldn't happen to have more than one flare, would you?
There are 3 flares on the table. So there are 4 shots.
Steph just kind of grabs the flare gun and then the additional flares as well. we might need them, you know, like
I already have one.
Vampires don't like fire very much, you know.
I don't think that's how flare guns work.
She pulls out her own.
Might be how vampires work.
Diane pulls out her own flare gun. There's a reason why I'm giving you a spare.
Does Dr. Arkham know if vampires can get particularly hurt by flare guns?
A flare gun can emit a powerful flame.
Yes, and vampires are weak to fire, but I don't know if it's like if it's a missile launcher to a vampire, or if you're still just bouncing essentially just a very painful projectile off of their chest.
Depends on how close they are, I suppose.
If I could add a bit of an additional benefit to that, I mean, there's also the Garden of Fucked Up Plants. Goddamn, what's the name of the one from
Little House of
Horrors?
Audrey.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
Yeah, we got the Aubrey squad in the.
Dentist.
We got the Aubreys in the other fucking room, and I imagine they also would not respond too terribly well to a flamethrower. Audrey, it's not Aubrey, it's Audrey. I don't think the plants are pedophiles. Anyways.
Whoa.
Oh,
I'm basically like saying like could Arkham like do a roll to see actually like how much actual damage a flare gun could do to a vampire?
What sort of roll would I make for that?
Occult and intel.
Occult and intelligence. Difficulty 3. It's not like you're going into the deep lore.
the who?
But oh.
I will say that we probably want to turn off the sprinkler system in that place before we,
Huzzah.
do stuff like that.
So, you find out that it shoots out a ball of pain, you know, and
So it's like a small firework of sorts.
Could it kill at all?
Ooh, do we have extra fireworks actually?
I will say, it could kill if the vampire was already coated in gasoline, but it would be a shot that would take a hot minute to regenerate from normally.
Can we like mechanically say it would stun a vampire?
It would stun them mechanically. A flare gun by itself would stun them. If you somehow managed to get gasoline on them and you shot it, they would catch a flame.
So what I'm hearing is we need to buy gasoline.
Steph could probably make a DIY flamethrower.
I can make a lot of DIY explosives now. Also, flame equipment.
Can you make my sword on fire?
Did we have
Sure.
you made a firebomb, didn't you?
I did make a firebomb, yeah.
What was it? What did it look like again? You didn't make like a grenade, right? It wasn't it like a box?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, like it's I guess I kind of overdid myself a little bit because it was a pretty big fucking. It's still in the bus. We got a pretty big little bomb there, yeah. But like, frankly, no, yeah, like, I mean, what is it? So you probably have to get some oven mitts and shit and we could just fucking get some gasoline, get a big wrap around your sword, and you just kind of let that bitch rip, you know? I will say it's not necessarily the most like long-term solution. If you just dump a bunch of gasoline on a sword and light it on fire, it's not really gonna like stay ignited because it's not an inherently flammable substance. Unless we're gonna make like a stake sword, but I don't think we're gonna do that.
Can't you
Actually,
make
in
like
hindsight, maybe
a?
don't do. Actually, in hindsight, maybe don't do that because that might fucking
Things
make
tend
more
not to be on fire for very long.
Can't you make like a flamethrower or something that shoots out gasoline that lights on
I mean,
fire?
yeah, that probably wouldn't be too bad either.
Bone, that is
I mean,
that
it-
is what a flamethrower does in real life.
Yes, but I wanted to make sure that I assume Steph knew, but you know.
Oh no,
I
yeah,
don't-
it's pretty. I remember one time when I was a little bit bored, I made a fucking fire. I made a flamethrower out of like what is it? So I got some like coat hangers and I just kind of like took off all the metal pieces and shit, and then I just got some hairspray that I had, and then a lighter, and then I just kind of confangled it into a fucking contraption.
Because, like, I imagine
How
some people
would
don't know
argue
that,
would
like,
work?
that flamethrowers shoot out liquid and not just fire.
How bored are you at work,
You
Steph?
thought I made that at work? I have an apartment.
Again, how bored are you?
So she,
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I want to. I don't think you guys want me to get into this right now.
so Diane is like, all right. So if you can't get them to wait, then you can't get them to wait, and you'll just do it without us because it's better that way. But if you can't get them to wait, then we can, wipe them. Someone could shoot the flare. I would recommend somebody, who is not with the group of you guys shoots the flare, as to look like that none of you shot it. But
Look out.
a lookout, and they shoot the flare, then us and the hunters come in, we try to fight the remainers and all that. At least that's how the plan would be if it works. If you cannot, if it's do or die tomorrow night, then just don't, then we will not get involved. We will.
I mean, frankly, if I'm gonna level with you, sis, it's probably a good idea that you don't necessarily get involved anyway, because like you're like a major public figure, and like once this is over, if you get ingrained in a vampire conflict, not only are they gonna know that you know about vampires, they're also gonna see that the major political figure within this particular spire of the country is deeply aware. You'd have to like go into hiding and like basically give up your life effectively afterwards.
Have you ever killed a person?
Start today.
I've been told not to answer that one.
Well, I hope you have if you are gonna do it at some point.
Well then.
If there's anything I could say to you, if there's one thing that we're particularly well versed in, well, kind of anyway, is that we've been known to fight like hell before. It's a bit messy and it's a bit all over the place. There might be a sufficient amount of property damage, but we can probably manage without you. Need to emphasize the word probably, though.
Well, is that it for today? Do we have anything else? They said there were some crates, right? Did we look into those crates?
You have
The
not.
guy on the radio?
He did say there were wooden stakes in them. Like a bunch of them.
I
Alright.
was assuming it was like steaks and ammo.
I assume that got distributed amongst every.
I would say most of the strike workers have the stakes on hand. Although there's a little bit of them left for you guys.
Also, do you mind if we take this skull for research purposes? I think we know a guy to look at.
If you know a guy, then sure, by all means. But, I guess, this is gonna happen a lot sooner than the original plan.
That just kind of tends to happen, honestly.
I was just gonna have him commit a crime out in the open and throw up, get like, because I know a prosecution lawyer, and I was going to get him charged, and while he was in holding, we were going to get him a specific cell that would expose him to sunlight.
I mean, I'm gonna level with you. I would hazard a pretty solid guess that one, there's definitely. I mean, frankly, lawyers are even worse bloodsuckers than vampires. So not only would he probably manage to get out in some capacity, I don't know. He'd probably just
He'd be on his shit
kill.
list.
He'd kill his way out, I think. Like, he's got the police in his pocket. I don't think he gives a fuck.
We also.
Valiant effort, though.
I guess there was that. I guess like it was like that, and there was Plan B, which was to have our dock workers, our strike workers here, kill them and just make it seem like a gang violence like death.
I feel like you would also have casualties doing that.
But I am quite aware that plan would have had casualties. So honestly, this is probably for the best that you all arrived.
Well, should we call it there then?
The meetings. I would say the meeting's adjourned.
Alright, I guess we head back to our secret bus then.
You all
Our
had.
super secret. We'll never let anybody on.
I
here
mean-
ever bus.
I mean, come on, like the interior. You have to keep in mind, like, opposing the like interior and whatnot. Also, like.
Oh, I get why. I just always thought, oh wow, this is a great place to meet up with people. It's like it's a thematically cool place to meet up with.
So as you're all on
So,
the bus.
I will say, as we're on the way out, I'm just gonna grab like a rifle, like any of the ones that are just kind of left over rather quickly, so I can use that as the basis for a flamethrower effectively.
You do that, and as you all have your weapons, you're ready, and
Zach grab some steaks.
it's at nighttime. You get so you're just kind of going along, like the roads at night. You do have a realization as you see a familiar figure out on like the sidewalk, talking to people as your bus is trying to find a place to park for the night. And that familiar figure is Smith. He's not looking at you guys, but appears to be talking with a couple of people.
I thought it was gonna be the lady.
Uh,
The lady we kidnapped.
I thought it was gonna be Lorenzo.
So as like this is happening, you see he's talking to a mysterious group of people. Oh no. Accidentally opened my editing software. I have to close that out when it opens fully. And so what do you do after seeing him talking to this group of people you have never seen before?
That's our backup. He whispers to whoever's nearest him.
What am I seeing again?
You see Smith, and like in,
Talking to people.
and he's talking to like what appears to be 5 different people. They're just kind of like having like a normal conversation out at they're having a conversation, one you can't hear, but they are out at like open and it's during the night.
What do they look like? Do they just look like dudes?
Some of them do. There's one guy who seems a bit more like ripped, and another man who seems to be wearing a full suit and a hat. You can't quite make out the details of his face.
What do we? Where are we in relation? Do they see us?
They do not. you're one of the vehicles that are like driving like across the street. Like you're on the street and this is like the sidewalk. So you see them through like the side windows as it's going by.
All right, so I'm gonna suggest we just kind of wait until he's done talking.
So do you find a place to park that's that gives you an eye view but a little bit distant?
That's what I would do, unless somebody else has an alternate idea.
My drone?
That's actually a pretty good idea.
That might be a good idea.
As the vehicle's finding like a place to park, you notice that Zach's drone flies up and goes by, and it is you're making a check. So you're going to eavesdrop on this conversation, correct?
Yeah.
This would be a stealth roll. Let me go get like stats fully up.
Stealth plus what? Stealth? Stealth plus what?
Let's say it's like stealth plus is awareness a attribute? Let me look at the character creation again.
Awareness would be a skill.
It'd be a stealth plus I would say wits, because you're trying to maneuver this drone pilot.
Yeah.
This drone, I mean.
What's the difficulty?
3. It's because it's at night.
Okay, let's go. A 6, a 7, an 8, and a 1.
Type that in the dice chat. That is
Success.
a success. You go unnoticed and you hear a conversation. And the conversation goes, huh. Hey! Didn't know you guys would show up this early. Turns out we're a lot closer, you know? The guy with the hat in the suit remains completely silent. You still can't seem to fully make out his face even on the drone camera. The other I guessing we're taking it back. Yeah, but not so loud, not out here. We're gonna go to a alleyway. Besides, I have some mortal assistance that can help. Mortal assistance? What? So like not even a ghoul? There's like one, but I wouldn't trust him that much. The man will do anything for his fix. I mean anything. I have seen him do some terrible things. For both sides. But I got some mortals. You know, about like 7 of them. But it should be fun. Just come on. Right. You know they enter the alleyway. As you follow them, you know, if they know about us, you know what we gotta do to them, right? Yeah, but we're kind of in a tough position. Do you know how? They have him, the cleaner. You know him? He's here. I've been wanting to fight him for a while. I heard he's crushed even our kind skulls like grapes instantly. He can put even some experienced us to death with his bare hands. I also heard that his footsteps can't even be heard. Yes, it's the very same. So, him, Lorenzo, and their Tremere shenanigans and the Botanical Gardens. I figured that I need as much help as we can to get rid of these guys. And you told us to be cautious out in public. Yeah, but it's an alleyway. The most likely person here is somebody who's already on the fix of the Vitae. Right. So what are we gonna do when we see these mortals? I'd say let them do their thing. You know, we handle the cleaner, we handle any other stray element, and we let them mess with Lorenzo. Well, I actually scratched that. We don't want a war breaking out, so I think the mortals have a walkie-talkie. We're gonna have them give us a signal, and when that goes, we are going to jump the cleaner. They're gonna get Lorenzo. It's gonna be all in one fell swoop. We'll kill them before they'll even let the others know about the warpath. This way, we won't be out in the open. Right. And, one more thing. That, anarchy movement you were looking into. How are they? Gone. Mostly gone. All dead, mutilated, diablerized. Ugh. Never look cut out for us. It appears so. Right. There's about, 4 of you, right? What happened to the other, 2? They're back at the apartment. They're getting stuff set up. You know how they are. Yeah. Alright, so I guess we're gonna do this earlier. You said you have walkie-talkies. Why don't you contact them now? I forget. I'll see what I can do. You guys hear a ringtone almost from an old phone you guys have. Do you answer it?
I guess I will.
Who has the
Yeah, I
phone?
guess.
Hello.
Oh, it's Virgil goes to swipe it. Oh, yes, this is Smith. Turns out the reinforcements got here earlier. Like a whole day earlier.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I'd say either tomorrow night or tonight, I'd say we can go in. Unless you have any reservations.
Did we ever make like an actual plan? Is it just to storm the fucking fortress?
It was they were going to, if I recall correctly, they were going to handle the cleaner and other forces, and you were going to sneak into the fortress and handle Lorenzo, and they will handle anything else, and you're essentially just going to you and the other vampires were going to overwhelm them before they could start a big war.
Well, should we make a possible ambush plan instead of just storming the place with all the scary plants?
Good point. I have a sniper that will be here too, so that should help. So, what are you thinking?
Well, you're the one that knows him. Are you capable of luring him anywhere in particular where your guys can jump him? You guys are the ones with all the strength.
Tomorrow there's going to be a, meeting. It's gonna be deep in Ziegler Park. Heavily wooded area, and they should have the ghouls, they should have, clear out any mortals, so it should be just us. The plan is I was thinking of maybe concealing, some of our reinforcements within the force itself, and in the force there's only Lorenzo and the cleaner and 2 others. I was thinking that we would handle the cleaner and everybody else. We'd leave Lorenzo to you. If we handle them during the smuggle operation, we can get them in one fell swoop. They wouldn't even have time to declare war.
Did he say, Sorry, did he say how many of them were to us? Like, how many of Lorenzo's guys?
He said that Lorenzo would have the cleaner with him, which is one, and that there would be two ghouls with him, and one generic like goon vampire. So three vampires, 2 ghouls.
Well, it sounds like you guys would be better suited for handling the big guys. I don't think we are particularly going to be as useful in that regard. I think possibly handling the smaller guys would be better for us.
That is a fair point. But having you guys will handle we'll handle the big ones, but I will warn you that the cleaner, and I don't know about Lorenzo. Now I do remember. Lorenzo and the cleaner are very tough. They can dish a lot of damage, so when you're done with the little ones, we may still need your help handling Lorenzo and the other one. Even with our combined forces. So...
When does this start?
The smuggling was planned for tomorrow. We were going to make the drop off there. The only other time we have available is we would have to wait an entire week, and we don't know what could happen in that week. For all we know, Lorenzo could get another powerful piece into the board in that time.
What time of day?
Well, not during day, because, well...
Oh, right. Duh. Okay, actually, I'm gonna take that. That was a dumb thing to ask.
It was gonna be around...
What time of night?
12 a.m.
Alright, then. We can possibly... Is there... I'm gonna ask the group, is there anything to add?
Nothing that immediately comes to mind now.
Nothing to me right now.
So the out of character, your decision is to either take the opportunity now or take the one next week where you can either get 100 reinforcements, but you may risk a third, intimidating named vampire joining the fray. Maybe.
Well, what do you guys think? Do we wait the week to set up?
I mean, I don't need that much time to prep personally.
We'll have our backup by then.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood there for a second. What's the vote here? Do we do it tomorrow or do we do it in the week?
I'm personally of the mind of just going for it now.
Alright then, if there are no disagreements, it sounds like the ambush will be the plan.
I guess there's not much else we can do within a week.
If you're
I
gonna
don't think.
the vote, if you're gonna go for it tomorrow, then great. I will warn you though.
Can we get a map of the... Do you guys have any, map of the layout of your ambush positions so we know where to set up?
I have to fully finalize it. Turns out of the reinforcements, we got one different one than expected, so we're accommodating for him. I will send you guys the photo. The next moment I can see you in person.
Did he tell me how many allies he got?
He said that he had a few. He never said a number specifically.
And how many people are we working with here?
5.
Alright. Did we ever discuss a payment?
Payment, huh?
We're not just hunters. We do work.
Oh yeah. I guess the closest I'd say to payment is that I can tell you is that they're smuggling money. I'll let you keep the compartments, the contents of the smuggle, and your lives.
That sounds fantastic.
All right. I'll inform you of the details as soon as I can. He closes the phone.
Alright, well, it looks like this. We might need to get our new friends involved much earlier.
I'm gonna retcon something. It's Eden Park, not Ziegler Park. I just realized that Ziegler Park was out in the open. Eden Park's the one with all the trees.
So we might need to ambush the ambush, if possible. Perhaps we can leave them out to dry, wondering where we are, and not show up when we said we will.
As y'all wondering this, you still hear Smith's voice, but not from the phone, but from the drone feed. Alright, told ya. They're pretty reliable. If they're hunters, why don't we just dome them the moment they're not looking? There are 6 of them. And besides, they're already going to be becoming prepped to kill our kind, so jumping them could lead with some casualties on our side. Better casualties than them knowing. Look, who's gonna believe them anyway? They've been keeping this stuff secret as a profession of sorts. I'd say leave them be. Now, is the mighty Bison afraid? Don't call me that. I played that game like 1 time. And besides, I wouldn't have to worry about them. Sure, my back can handle them if we really just went off them. Right. Smith chimes in. You know, I don't think it'll be a problem. I don't think they'll rat. Although, if you just can't help yourselves, I'll just walk away. Oh, got it? Understood. Alright. And that's the conversation you overheard on the drone.
Interesting. But yes, we might wanna, after we get that map, consider ambushing the ambushers. Perhaps even taking a shot at Lorenzo's guys to start the ambush early.
You all sit there wondering what the next game plan is. Wondering and thinking.
Should we call it there, or
I
should
think
we?
that's the end narration. I'm pretty sure.
Even though we didn't start until later.
I don't think we're gonna end it on any more dramatic point.
But that's also the thing, which is why I'm gonna do my narration. Eden Park tomorrow night, midnight, is when you plan to strike. The vampiric allies you have gained, now contemplating whether or not to put it into your hunt prematurely. You're all wondering how to handle this very carefully. You know you have the Union strikers available as a amateur hunt force, but the real hunters will take 5 days to get here. However, the strike workers, although amateurs, seem to be still heavily armed. The only thing that with your artifacts, your mysterious skull, and the feelings of anxiety, worry, and planning, and that is where I'm ending Hunter, the road trip.
Absolute cinema.
This week.
And you know what? You guys are right. We should. I should probably not suggest bringing people on the bus. Because now I'm like, oh yeah, maybe bringing this guy on the bus was a bad idea. At the same time, I kind of just assume we park the bus outside of anywhere we show up.
Well, I mean,
Right, it's
someplace
our
enough that
primary
it's
mode of
not like-
transportation. Yeah.
So I feel like he would have seen it anyway under that context.
Yeah. So that was So
That was cool. Now we need to plan.
And I also need to write down the specific stats of the firearms you guys picked.
We also did not ask Malcolm about the skull. I'm gonna write that in shared hunter notes to remind ourselves to do.
So far, I would say your weird artifacts that you have gathered is the mysterious skull, the orb of Elaine, the changeling blood, the quote-unquote quirky sauce, and those are the ones you have found so far.
So far.
Yes, this mysterious artifact, the sauce.
I'll probably write down what that does by next time.
Oh, do
I'm
you
probably
still
going
not
to
know?
bring the machine gun to the thing where we have to kill a vampire.
You know what? Maybe. However, the one thing I'm like, man, that's gonna make a lot of noise. That's gonna make a
I think
lot.
everything we're doing is going to make a lot of noise.
You know what? It's the
Well, that's
gang
why we're out in
violence.
the woods.
The gangs now have LMGs.
Oliver, well, I would say during your prep, and you discover something, and it's maybe even a bit of an upgrade, which is for the bus, which is the emergency latch up on like the top part of it.
It's now like a tank gunner, a machine gunner seat.
No, it's more like like on the top of a bus will have like the emergency latch.
I guess. Also, I just turned my phone on, so you might be hearing
most
notifications.
common buses tend to have a big hatch in the roof that opens up in case they tip over.
I have not been on a bus in years.
Buses do have, and for this one, it has it on.
It was a legal requirement since I was a small child.
They have it on. You discover it on this bus, so you could hypothetically put the light machine gun on that one and set that up when the time is right. So there's the light machine gun on the bus. And let's just say after like this and after the next session, I might have to remember to be like, oh yeah, bus upgrades.
Speaking of upgrades, how much XP did we get today?
I would say 6 because you actually got to like encounter the reinforcement vampires. And also you discovered a bunch of artifacts and the amateur hunters, Diane,
Also, is it like this? Like the tank machine gun seat? Oh wait, I thought that was a tank. That's on sandbags. But like the tank machine gun seat.
I was imagining like some like you guys like strap a chair to like near the emergency latch, and it's like jerry rigged up to where you could just like sit on like it, open the latch, sit down in it, and use it as a gunner seat. You now have the turret for the bus now. The light machine gun for the bus.
The anti-personnel weapon.
and now you have more XP. So remember,
Oh yeah, I need to mark that down.
I also need the in the shared hunter notes to write down the specific stats of each gun that was picked up.
We might want to up our combat stats. Maybe even an attribute that affects health.
Uh, I wrote in shared hunter notes some stats. Where the 357 and Spaz 12 are 4 damage, and while the M16 is 3, it has lower aiming difficulty.
Noir, so Noir just posted like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like party wagon, and it has these like machine gun things on it. Noir, do those shoot bullets? What do those shoot?
I don't believe they shoot bullets. I believe they're just a solid piece of plastic.
No, I meant like thematically. Are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles packing?
Lasers.
Oh, lasers, of course.
Yes, it was the 80s. You couldn't have large guns. That lasted throughout the 90s. That's why the Punisher only has big laser blasters on the Spider-Man show.
Oh yeah, which is funny because they used real gunshots for like his backstory. Like they used real when they have the flashback.
Can't see them.
You can't see them, but it is still kind of wild that you see the kite falling down with gunshot noises for Punisher's backstory.
Didn't they have like actual guns in the Batman animated series?
There's a lot of rules that standards and practices had about guns.
I thought I remember seeing like revolvers and not like and like pistols and not lasers in Batman.
They used I remember they used like some old
They're very nondescript guns, though.
All right, so do we have anything to add? Or are we good?
I'm good.
I guess that was Hunter the Road Trip Session 8. You guys you guys getting the artifacts and prepping for the fight.
Okay, so the idea was that Taz on Batman Taz, you're not allowed. The guns are allowed to show up, but nobody's allowed to get shot with a gun. You can't point it at the screen.
You can only have zappers attack people.
Yeah, everyone gets electrocuted, and then they go, "Wah!"
I was gonna say, that's everybody's weakness in the animated series, electricity.
And then they put a spin on it whenever Scarface would show up because he's a puppet, so they can just blow him up and kill him as crazy as they want to. Because he's not a person.
You know what? I say let the kids see people get shot. Let them face the cruel reality.
Remember that scene in the Teen Titans movie where they were like, hey, these aren't real people, and then they proceeded to do like hyper violence on those ink clones.
Yeah,
it was like the last thing they ever did for that show ever. That was great.
Maybe someday that show will come back and finish. Didn't that show end on a cliffhanger?
That was the movie where Robin just fucking crashes out and does the double knee drop, right?
Oh yeah, the skyscrapers.
The last episode of Teen Titans indicated a strange and mysterious girl who happens to look just like Tara, and a weird monster that's never explained. So it was leaving room open, but that's it. The rest of the show's over.
Damn. Well, you know what? At least we got Teen Titans Go. It's at the very least, huh? Very satisfying. The only show on Cartoon Network.
It's like the morning of OG Teen Titans got me speechless.
And
Is
OG
this all
Teen
a stream?
Titans also had a police with big laser guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. All right, do we end the stream there?
We end the stream there. Thank you for tuning in to Hunter the Road Trip. Look forward to next time, where the gang preps for the intense ambush shootout and more. See ya.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Bye.
It will come next time.